Hello everyone, thank you for joining for today's webinar. So we're going to show you the new product, the new enterprise session border router and the new Voiceover Ip Gateway. So to get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mark Eberhardt. I'm the product line manager at Patent for the Voiceover Ip products based here in Switzerland. With me today we have Tanya Barbeito. She is the marketing manager for Western Europe and she will be assisting me for the webinar today. Hello Tanya.
Hello everybody.
Good. To get started, a few bullet points about the presentation of today. So I'm going to talk about market trends and the reaction of Patent to those market trends. Then for the new product we're launching today, a closer look to the hardware, what kind of ports you will get. Then the key features of that product. And furthermore, a few words about the application and use cases where this product can be used for, installed, and so on. Then target customers, where this product will fit into, what's the target there. Then contact information towards the end, including a Q&A session, if there will be still some questions at the end of the presentation. So if there are any questions during the presentation, feel free to post them in the questions field on the panel you have on the right-hand side. Good. Then I think we can get started. Market trends, so all IP you hear everywhere. So it's the TDM lines, usage becoming less and less. So that means carriers, incumbent carriers, they're announcing the end of ISDN lines provided to customers. So that raises the demand for IPPBXs, for SIP trunk connections. But still, this is a migration phase which is happening, so that can take several years, where still survivability to the PSTN fallback functionalities is a requirement. And for the all IP application, SIP to SIP functions, SIP to SIP call flows, there a SIP demarcation point is needed on the customer's network edge.
But Mark, why do you think a SIP demarcation point is needed?
Well, there are actually two viewpoints of this. So the viewpoint from the carrier, there they want to have an interface on the customer's network edge where they're delivering their service, their voice over IP service, their SIP trunk, where they can have access to monitor and debug if needed their service to ensure proper voice quality. And from an end customers or user point of view, they want to have a unit hiding their internal network topology, or in other words, they don't want to expose their IPPBX sitting in the customer's LAN to the outside world and give them a public IP, which actually brings me to the next point, security. So network topology hiding, but also encryption, as voice over IP traffic is containing sensitive data and it's being sent across a public unsecure network. So that raises the need of having a proper encryption across those public networks, and to make sure and maintain a proper service, fraud protection at the customer's network edge is a real key requirement. With all that, performance needs on that device is going up. So it's not just for all the security aspects, but also more bandwidth, which has to be handled. So there is more content available on the internet or on the cloud, which has to be downloaded to the customer's network. So that requires a proper performance on that device. And on top of that, QoS still a requirement, even with big pipes, with big access links, those can be saturated by a big file download. So QoS still required there. Ease of use, so that's something all of you probably know best. So the faster you can complete an installation error-free, the less time you spend, the less money you spend for that. So that's also key. So to make it short, simple, quick, and working, and something there which helps to do so is the zero-touch provisioning. Now, how did we from Pattern react to those trends? With the new product, our Enterprise Session Border Router and the new Voiceover Ip Gateway, we provide survivability for a migration scenario going towards all IP, the SIP service demarcation point to separate the LAN from the WAN network, and of course the QoS with the well-known upstream and downstream QoS we have on our products from Pattern. In terms of security, it's not just SIP TLS, SRTP, but also fraud protection mechanisms we have on our devices to make sure that the voice calls are not being disrupted by any fraud coming from the outside. Performance, so with this new product we have a new state-of-the-art CPU providing a much better IP routing performance compared to the current unit we have in our portfolio.
So, but it's more performance than, let's say, a PRI product?
Yeah, it's even more than on the current PRI products we have. So it's a lot.
Okay.
It's much better. In terms of ease of use, so with our web wizard functionality we have on all the Trinity devices, it helps to reduce the installation time, to make it easier and quicker. So that's something very cool, which looks like this. So with just a couple of fields here going to be exposed to the customer or to the installer, installation can be done much faster and quicker. So with the web wizard, there is a template running behind that which contains all the configuration parameters staying the same for all the different installs. So it's just the variables with customer-specific data which are exposed in this web interface, in this window where the installer or the customer can enter the user credentials, whether it's username or password.
So they can save a lot of time because they do one template for, let's say, 3 installations where you just have to change 2 or 3 fields. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly true. So once a wizard for a certain application is done, it can be used for many other installs, and for every install you're doing, you're saving a lot of time, which makes it easier for you as an installer, and also it makes it better for the end customer in case the end customer wants to finalize the configuration of the unit.
And in addition to that, Mark, by the end of April, beginning of May, we will have a new community where all those specialists can share their wizards with other people, right? And they can benefit also from the wizards other system integrators, let's say, created.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that's actually a good point. So with that, it will makes it again easier for all of you. So with sharing the wizards, so there is not a need for every case or for every installation to create a new wizard. So there might be already one there. So as Tanya said, more information we will provide towards the end of April around that. Cool. Good. Then getting closer to the new unit. So this is showing you how the hardware looks like. As you can see, we still have a console port. That's something I've heard many times from people doing installs, from people out in the field. So they really like this connector to do initial configuration where this is desired, or to do monitoring, management. So that's still there, console port. Then as you can see, we have a USB port on that device. So that's something designed for future use in order to connect, for instance, a 3G, 4G modem for an additional WAN uplink at this stage. In terms of the Ethernet ports, as you can see, there are either 1 or 2 Ethernet ports on the 5530, which is the Enterprise Session Border Router, also called Espr. There is going to be 2 Ethernet ports. However, on the 4130, the Voiceover Ip Gateway, there's going to be just 1 Ethernet port. For both variants, for both models, we have either 2 or 4 BRI port for PSTN connectivity or to connect ISDN PBX or ISDN terminals. Moving along with that product, with the new product, I want to say a few words about the key features we offer. First of all, this product is running Trinity. That means all the nice features and functionalities we have on Trinity, they're going to be on that product, of course. So just to highlight some of them, SIP TLS, SRTP, for instance, the gigabit Ethernet ports, allowing proper performance, routing performance. Then for a clear voice and a nice communication experience, G722 HD codec we have on that product, and many other things such as the powerful packet-based router where you can do complex installations, complex networks with that function there.
So Mark, we know that our competitors offer also a session border router or session border controller. So give us an example, or let us know why they should buy our product instead of the competitor. What's the difference of our product?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So that's true. So on competitor products, you see some of the features also being supported. However, what makes it unique for our product is that all these features and many other features as listed here, we have on one device, on a single device, where there it's the high precision clock allowing a reliable fax or modem transmission, the web wizard we talked about, which allows customization of the web interface actually, or if it's the ISDN line power to connect ISDN phones, which is quite unique for our products and you really rarely find on competitor products. So with all that, it makes it unique and really competitive, but also remember that we offer still free technical support and free lifetime software upgrades, which you which you don't find on competitors' products. So there is no additional cost or service fee once you bought the unit.
So at the end of the day, let's say the total cost of ownership is less on the patent products than on the competitor products.
That's exactly right. Total cost of ownership, that's the right word for it. Exactly. With all these, so I want to give you some ideas about applications. So starting really simple, which is basically the all IP migration scenario, which starts on the trunk side, where a customer doesn't want to change yet to an IPPBX. So for instance, if they just renewed their phones connecting to the ISDN PBX, so they want to keep those for a while in order to protect the investment they have done, but still they somehow have to migrate over to a SIP trunk as their carrier is shutting down the ISDN lines, the TDM lines. So with the new product, with the 5530, this kind of problem can be solved. So it will turn the ISDN PBX into a SIP trunk communication. On top of that, the device allows, the SmartNode allows to do SIP TLS SRTP for security reasons. And moving along, if the customer at a certain point in time during the migration wants to go to an IPPBX, so that one can be connected to the SmartNode as well. And as you can see, the two PBXs, they can even coexist to allow a smooth and good migration from old to the new technology. And if needed, they can still connect ISDN TDM line to the device for fallback scenarios. And with the fallback relay we have available on our products, it offers a real secure and reliable telephony service. And at the end, when it's all IP, then still the same device stays in here, right in the middle, so doing the SIP demarcation point, so between the LAN and the WAN network, in order to do number normalization, for instance, to do adaptations from one SIP language to the other SIP language, or if it's concerning security, so turning the unsecure packets into secure packets going out on the WAN side, and of course doing QoS to ensure a proper voice quality along with G722 codec if this is a requirement for a certain application. Moving forward to the Voiceover Ip Gateway, the 4130, so that's even simpler, I would say, in terms of the application. So where there is a need to connect legacy ISDN TDM lines to an IP-PBX, the 4130 will do that, certainly. Or the other way around, for a hosted application where there is no PBX on the customer premise, but just the ISDN terminals connecting to that hosted PBX sitting on the core side of the service provider on the right-hand side, the 4130 is a perfect fit for that. Even with SIP TLS or SRTP support, this device can do as well.
But this looks like a typical 4120 application. What's the difference between the 4120 and the 4130?
Right, so the main difference here is that with the 4130 we have the possibility on the ISDN port side to configure them to be either NT or TE. That means you can either connect the PSTN line to the device or an ISDN terminal. That's something which is not possible on the 4120. And in terms of the security, the 4130 can do SIP TLS or SRTP, or also the G722 HD codec. That's something the 4120 doesn't support.
Okay, thank you.
So much about applications. So there can be many more applications, of course. So the product is really flexible. In order to give you an overview about the differences between the Espr and the Voiceover Ip Gateway, as you can see here in this table, so SIP TLS, SRTP, for instance, something you can get additionally as an option on the 4130, so that requires a software license to be loaded. And also in terms of SIP-to-SIP calls, the Espr provides the full functionality there. However, you can do SIP-to-SIP calls as well on the 4130, but this is on application level only, so that means no IP routing is possible. So that's the difference here at that stage.
But our partners buy now the 4630. Do they have to switch now to the 5530? Is it a replacement product, or can they keep with the 4630?
Well, it really depends on the application. So as you all have seen, the new product offers a rich set of features where some of those nice features are not supported on the 4630, for instance. So that means whether TLS or SRTP or the web wizard is required, so they will have to go for the 5530. And also in terms of the future, where new features are required, more performance is required, the 5530 is the right choice, is the right selection of the product. But if all this is not required, if security is not required, or if not a lot of performance is required, what IP routing is concerned, then they can still go with the 4630 as an example.
Okay.
Then a few words about target customers. So the new product we are launching today is a perfect fit for SMEs, so small to medium enterprises, whether this is a lawyer's company, an agency, or any kind of retail stores. The 5530 is a perfect fit for that. But of course, as well for service providers, whether it's a big or a small service providers, can be a city carrier, for instance, targeting the same customers. The 5530 is really a great and the perfect fit product for those kind of customers. Good, then that brings us towards the end of that webinar of today. So at that stage, we want to just mention here about the further information, the further details in this case. So if there are any questions, please contact the local distributor. So they have all the information about the new product. They can help you with data sheets and so on. But of course, as always, go to our website where you can find all those kinds of information with a full description about the product, including data sheets, and also the ordering information, the different kind of models you will all find on our website. Should you have any further question there, also feel free to contact us directly as indicated. So we'll be glad to help you with any inquiry you might have. In terms of the launch of this product, so we are in the pre-ordering state right now. Feel free to order units if you have any requirement for projects you are working on. So that's something we'll be glad to receive. And in terms of shipping, so we'll be ready to ship the new units beginning of May. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be ready to deliver the new product. Very good. Okay, so I think we're at the end of today's webinar. Again, I would like to thank you for your attention. And at that stage, also, I would like to thank you, Tanya, for your assistance.
Thank you. And we will reply to all the questions.
Absolutely. So you replied to some questions already during the webinar. That's good. I'm glad for that. And we want to review the remaining open questions, and we'll get back to you shortly with answers, with helpful answers for you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you again for your time and your attention. So we look forward to meet you again in any of the upcoming patent webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.